We have officially finished our second quarter of homeschooling. We are halfway through our homeschooling year. And in today's video, I am simply going to show you guys what do I do with our curriculum organization. So as you know, I love using the binder system when it comes to organizing our Abeka curriculum. And I set it up at the beginning of the year. If you want to see my video on how is it that I do that, go ahead and click right here. But at the end of every quarter, I remove out the work that we've completed for that particular quarter and I add in the new one. In addition to that though, I go ahead and file and put away all the work that I am keeping for our portfolios at the end of the year. So I'm simply sharing with you guys this process that I do at the end of every single quarter, and hopefully if you find it beneficial, you can also apply it to your homeschool. So let's go ahead and get into it. The very first thing I do is I grade the week's of work like I typically do on Saturdays, because staying on top of the grading weekly really makes this process super quick. Once that gets done, I place the binder to the side and grab the curriculum bin and begin to tear out all the pages for the upcoming quarter. And I stagger stack them as I go. Since I had pre-marked everything at the beginning of the school year, this process goes by very quickly too. Then I go through and I hole punch all of the pages. Finally, it's time to remove all of last quarter's work and add in the new work for the upcoming quarter. So for this, I have two piles. I make a pile of quizzes and tests and a pile of like the workbook and exercises. So it makes it easier when I'm grading. And then I just simply go in, add in the new quarter's work. These are the tests and quizzes for math, and then this is the workbook. Now for our reading comprehension sheets, we have already finished all of those, and our son is currently working on the drills and the comprehension checks in the book instead. So these, I'm gonna put them over here with the quizzes because that is something that we take a grade for, but I'm not going to add anything in it yet. For the language, I do the same thing. I keep the cover sheet and the table of contents on it because I like that. And then I simply remove everything else. Now for this, I'm keeping the stuff that my son has typed. As some of the classwork, he sometimes typed things in the typewriter. So I want to keep this as evidence of his work, just to show progression. So I'm keeping this, I'm putting this in this test pile, but everything else, I'm putting it off on the side. See, like these were all things that he did a rough draft, and instead of writing, we had him do his rough draft on the typewriter because he prefers to do that instead. Then he did some edits, and then the final polished copy. For creative writing, I've been doing this at home with him in the weekends. So we have another notebook that we also have. I'm gonna keep these examples in here because we are referring back to them as we go on. So, and there's nothing else to add to this particular section, so I'm just keeping this one as is. I'm not removing anything out of there. And just like that, we are set for the third quarter of sixth grade. Nice and simple and easy, all compacted into one spot. Now, before I go on and do my daughters, I am going to go ahead and fill out the third quarter progress report. I like to do things in batches. So in this particular case, when I put in the progress report and fill it in. I do it all at once. I don't do it as I go. So I have all the tests and quizzes over here in this pile that I'm going to use for that. And even though we are not doing accredited, I still enjoy using the progress report forms because for our records, it just serves such a good purpose. We get to see all the grades at a glance. If I wanted to put together a report card for him, I can go ahead and do that very quickly as well. And I just, whenever I go for my evaluation, I just put this in the folder as well along with the tests so that my evaluator has an opportunity to see it, and it just shows how he is performing in all of his academic areas. So that is what I'm going to do right now. Now, after I'm done doing all of my son's stuff, I do the exact same process with my daughter's work, and it just keeps everything smooth sailing, very consistent, and very streamlined and efficient. And then it's time to get the first grade stuff out. So that's my daughter's stuff. And I just do the exact same process I just did for my son, except I do it with the first grade curriculum. After I'm done with the kids' binders, I move on to our parent binder. I tear out the lesson plans from the video manual for the quarter and I place them in the binder. I actually shared how I set up this binder at the beginning of the year. If you want to go ahead and check that out, I'll tag this video up top. I personally love referencing the binder frequently. However, my husband doesn't really find the need to actually reference it. He typically just opens and goes. So he will reference the video manual if something's coming up or if there's something that he needs to look at beforehand. But other than that, the video manual, really, I'm the one that likes to take a deep look into it. I then place the work samples for the quarter that I'm keeping for our evaluation in the portfolios, and I place them in one of the bins in our homeschooling shelf or cubby. And I also take a couple of minutes to just declutter the bins and remove anything that we are not going to be using for the upcoming quarter. So that process happens at the end of every quarter. I just feel that it keeps everything organized, streamlined, put together, and just at the moment when the homeschooling year ends, everything has been done quarterly, so it doesn't feel super overwhelming when I'm putting my, what are those things called? Portfolios together. And I've done it in previous years where I wait till the end to put these things together, and I have found that I simply take a Saturday and devote 1 to 2 hours to it, and it just makes it much easier and simpler to do these little things in small batches like this than at the end of the year when everybody wants to be done. I want to start summer break and all that fun jazz. Do you have a certain system that works in your homeschool? Go ahead and share it with me in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and please remember, if you have not done so yet, like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye.